it's time to do some good old-fashioned Am I the A-hole? So I've got the subreddit pulled up and we will get to it, but first, you know the drill, you know the deal, we gotta do some channel maintenance, some channel hygiene. So, if you're new here, welcome to the nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh geez, if you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. If you're old here, go double check. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like. If you like, leave a comment. It can be anything related to the video. It could just be a hello, a few emojis, whatever, as long as it's cool and respectful. Hit the notification bell. As always, I'll link my tip jars down yonder in the description box. No pressure whatsoever, but every dollar to help that is what allows me to continue to make content. Also, you are invited to my Patreon. I know not everybody can come, but you can't say you weren't invited. The link to my Patreon is down below, and I post a lot over there. I also opened up YouTube memberships. You can join by clicking join below, and that's extra content. Staying on the platform, but getting extra content. Okay? We haven't done one of these regular Am I the A-holes in quite some time. So let's see what we got. I have it filtered to the top posts of this week. So, am I the a-hole for making my boyfriend's mom cry because of a petty rule? So me, a 20-year-old female, and my boyfriend, a 24-year-old male, have been together for almost 2 years and live together. His mother is very involved in his life. Some might say overbearing, but I try to be respectful. She's nice, but she has this way of pushing boundaries while acting like she means well. So the issue is, I have no shoes in the house rule. My boyfriend is cool with that. All my friends do it too, no problem, but his mom refuses. She claims it's rude to ask guests to take off their shoes, and that it makes her feel disrespecting. I tried explaining that it's just a cleanliness thing, but she won't budge. Well, we'll meet you at the door. Who's paying the bills here? Who cleans here? Last weekend she came over and surprise, walked in with her shoes on. I very politely, I swear, said, "Oh, can you take them off, please?" And she huffs and says, "You're really gonna make me do this?" And I just stood there waiting. She sighs, dramatically takes them off, and spends the whole visit sulking. Then later I get a text from my boyfriend's dad saying I made her cry, and she feels like I'm trying to assert dominance over her in her son's home. Our home, actually. My boyfriend is on my side, but now his parents are acting like I've disrespected the Queen of England. Am I the a-hole for standing my ground on a very normal rule? No, it's you live there. You live there. You clean there. It's a pretty common rule. I don't have it, but that's because I have a Tenecco and I do the floors constantly. And my dogs walk on the floor, so I'm always doing the floors. Unless it's really salty outside, and then people just do it on their own. But if I did start doing that rule, then people would just have to listen, or they can stay on the porch. I'm not kidding. If it's that big of a deal to you, don't come over. It's a pretty simple and common rule. So, we have the first comment, not the a-hole. If your boyfriend is aligned, how is he handling the situation? I'd expect him to call them and shut it down. The dad shouldn't be attacking you, and your boyfriend should be standing up for you. It sounds like he agrees, but what is he doing to solve the issue exactly? Because that's your family. Go get your fam. Go get your fam. Because you don't want me to. Go get your fam. OP said he's pretty nonchalant about it. He understands she's overbearing and rude, but annoyingly doesn't share my frustration with her attitude. That is because he's used to it. That is because it's his norm. Then you need to make it his problem as well. Tell him how upset you are, how disrespected you feel, that she can't follow one simple rule that's actually, given the dad's words, it seems like her refusing is her attempt to assert dominance of you in your own home, even down to them saying it's her son's home. See, that would piss me off too, because what? Are you saying I don't live here? Are you saying I don't contribute? Are you saying I'm a gold digger? What are you saying to me? Come over here. Come over here. I have makeup on my hand. Come over here. Like within arm's reach. Say it. Explain to him that you have put up with it enough at this point, and he either steps in and shuts it down, or she's not welcome in the house. You'll start handling it, and it won't be nice. Nip this in the bud unless you want it to get worse. You said you'd try and be respectful. Respectful? Well, stop that. She doesn't deserve the level of respect you're giving her. Respect is earned and mutual. Right? Like when you meet somebody, yes, you give them respect, and that's your boyfriend's mom, and you're like, hello, and you use basic manners. And then you gauge. And don't just keep laying down on the floor and let this lady literally walk all over the place, you know? She sounds like she's gonna be a real chore of a mother-in-law. And this is one of those cases, and it says it right here too, where the accusations are a confession. So, one time, we don't really see my mother-in-law very much. She's kind of an absent mother-in-law, but she's been over here like a few times, right? And one time we were having like I don't know, something, 4th of July or something. And she came in the house and she was like looking around and she goes, oh, hi, I'm being nosy or something. And I was like, watch it. Watch it. I think she just meant the decor. But I was like, don't. I don't know what that means. But there's no need for that. Okay. Am I the a-hole for kicking a pregnant woman out of her seat? Now, from the title, I'm gonna be like, yeah, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But it looks like the votes are saying this is not the a-hole, so I'd like to see how this twists into a situation where kicking a pregnant woman out of her seat is not an a-hole move. Okay, so this just happened a few hours ago, and I've only just calmed down because I hate conflict. Basically, I was doing a long travel day, 5-ish hours, so I booked my train in advance to ensure that I had reserved a seat. When I get to the train, a woman is in my seat, so I politely inform her that I think that's my seat, show her my ticket, and ask her to move. She checks her ticket and just says, well, I must have sat in the wrong seat, and puts her head down. I say that it's my seat, and could I please sit in it? At this point, her partner sitting opposite her starts speaking at me in what I perceive to be an aggressive tone. He suggests that I find another seat, which there are none because it's busy. And I say, but I booked that seat. There are no other available seats in the carriage. He then raises his voice and says, well, someone else is in our seats and that his missus is pregnant. I say I understand and I have a heart defect, which I do, and said everyone has their own medical issues and reasons standing for long periods of time might be difficult. And here I could be the a-hole. I ask him not to speak to me in an aggressive tone, and then I will make a complaint. He then starts swearing at me and I ask him to stop. Eventually the woman gets up and allows me to sit there, and he continues to berate me, saying he hopes I feel good for myself and that I'm quiet now. I have my seat when I just stopped engaging and felt there was no point. One of the men who sat beside him offers that him and his partner sit there in the seat opposite me. It's a table seat. At which he points to his partner down and then laughs at me and points in my face. Eventually, when the ticket inspector comes around and they are asked to move to their assigned seats, she asks if I'm okay, as another passenger had made a complaint on my behalf. Okay, so somebody witnessed this whole thing and was like, go check these people over here, because they're in the wrong. Should I have just left them alone as she was pregnant? And in any way, did I escalate? No, you're fine, bro. Bro or ma'am. Not the a-hole. There's no reason why the husband, as the healthy one, should have stayed in his seat. It's ridiculous that seat to his wife, allowing you to take yours. Even if they couldn't sit in their seats, there was no reason for her to have yours. The husband was being a selfish arse. I'm gonna go. Mondo's knocking on the door, but I'm gonna go put him in the other. Partially grounded right now because he's been getting into all kinds of mischief. Okay, he's supposed to be just a senior Garfield type of dog, but he's been on one. Yeah, this guy is okay, and I know it stinks moving a pregnant person, but why do they think they can just sit wherever they want? I don't know. Maybe that's how it goes on those trains, but it doesn't sound like it. You picked a seat, so if somebody comes along and that's their seat, you have to get up. It's the same thing at like concerts and stuff, you know. Okay, let's do another one. Am I the a-hole for not explicitly stating that my punch is non-alcoholic? I, 25 female, recently attended a potluck-style work party, and I brought punch, which has since caused a problem between myself and another coworker, a 42-year-old female, who we'll call Sandy. Last week, my boss hosted a party at his house to celebrate the end of a busy season and a job well done. All of my coworkers and their spouses were invited, and we decided it would work well to do a potluck to offset the cost of feeding everyone, about 35 people. Since not everyone who came brought a spouse or significant other, I volunteered to make a punch that I have brought to previous work events that everyone said they enjoyed, as well as some fruit to go with it. This was a casual party with alcohol present, but since I have some coworkers who don't drink, I didn't add any alcohol to this punch and figured that if people really wanted some, they'd add it themselves. Fast forward a couple hours and Sandy is getting louder and more dramatic than normal and is stumbling around the party. I didn't think much of it and figured she brought her own drinks or was adding some of the host's alcohol that was put out into something else. Suddenly I fell off the chair and she fell off the chair she was sitting in and made a big show of saying that it's because she was so drunk. And then she asked me in front of the rest of the coworkers, what was it that I put in the punch? Just a can of ginger ale, 7-Up orange juice, a can of juice concentrate. And then she wanted to know what alcohol I put in it because she's been drinking it all night and is really feeling it. I told her that I didn't put any alcohol in it and asked if maybe someone had spiked the punch bowl. Nobody said they added anything, and one of my coworkers who doesn't even drink said that they'd also been drinking the punch all evening and was still completely sober. I would also like to clarify that I understand how context can matter, like if everyone else was really drunk, then that can make even a sober person feel loaded. But that definitely was not the vibe. Sandy was the only person acting drunk. And she then got really quiet and went by herself into the bathroom. The rest of the coworkers and I exchanged some awkward glances and tried to laugh it off. She left shortly after, and I received an angry text from her about I shouldn't have embarrassed her like that. That now she looks like an idiot in front of our bosses and the rest of our coworkers. She's been hostile to me at work ever since and is basically refusing to talk to me. Thank God. This can't be Sandy's first infraction. Sandy's a weirdo. But some say that I should have just let her go on thinking that the punch was alcoholic to save her the embarrassment. And I'm wondering now if I'm in the wrong. Sandy is 42 years old. You do not need to save her. That she wanted attention. You know, recently my husband was talking about one of his coworkers, and he knew him from a long time ago. He used to be married to like somebody that my husband knows that's also married to whatever. Anyways, they were talking about, you know, how they used to see each other, whatever, and he's like, yeah, I had to get out of that relationship because he said that everywhere they went, like if they would get dressed and go to the bar, if she was not the center of attention, she would want to go to another, like she would just rotate places until she felt like she was the center of attention. And this, you're going to have to take it to management for mediation. It's a ridiculous thing to hold against you in the office place. So, I do believe in the placebo effect. I do think if people think they're drinking, they'll get like kind of flushed or buzzed or whatever, but falling. And yeah, if you spiked do people really still do that? I'm not gonna drink the punch anyways, because I'm not gonna lose my sobriety over somebody else think they're being cool with this. We're not frat boys. I'm in my 40s now. You don't spike punch around me. But maybe I should just avoid punch bowls. Here was another thought I had, and I see it on here. The placebo effect is a thing, but I'm wondering, me too, Onyx Eyes, if she was drinking a secret bottle of booze because she thought she could hide it by drinking the alcoholic punch. I'm wondering if Sandy has a problem. And she was blaming the punch, but really she was off doing whatever, from her little boot flask or something. Because she's got a problem. You would actually be a small a-hole if you had let her pressure you into saying it was alcohol. If there were other guests who couldn't or didn't drink, right, you said you work with sober people, so here's our sober beverage, which is so important to people that don't drink, because you can always add, but you can't take the alcohol out of the punch, so it's nice to have something fun to drink. That's not just a can of pop or a bottle of water. We make a Arnold Palmer in the summertime, and it's like a lemonade tea mix, but it's got lemons and raspberries in it and mint leaves, and it's so good. And yeah, sure, you can add alcohol to it if you want, but you don't have to. Yeah, something ain't adding up. Either she was sneaking drinks or just really wanted attention. And lying about the punch being alcoholic would have been way worse for the non-drinkers. Yeah, Sandy needs to be checked. Okay, let's do one more. Am I the a-hole for avoiding my mom after she told me to suck it up when I broke my fingers? I was at the gym where a heavy weight fell onto 3 of my fingers on my left hand. Okay. That's like giving me, what's the Final Destination? I was in such severe pain that I thought I was going to pass out. While sobbing, I called my mom. As I'm at college far away from home, I told her that I thought I broke my fingers and I wanted to go to urgent care. My mom has never been empathetic for physical injuries and mental health issues. When she heard me, she told me to suck it up and rest. I figured I would wait for a while. Who knows? She could be right. I mean, I've had fingers broken and they're just like hanging. They were just like hanging. So there was no mistaking, but maybe the way that she broke it, they weren't just. While waiting for my roommate to come home and saw the state I was in, she took one look at my hand and assured me I had to go to urgent care. No, you need to go to the ER. I didn't want to betray my mom because she always said never go to the ER or urgent care due to our terrible insurance. Okay, I get that because we have a little better insurance now, but we've had terrible insurance before, and you gotta be dying. This is America. You gotta be dying before you walk into an ER. However, I went and researched the cost of an out-of-pocket x-ray, and the nearest urgent care was only $200, which I was willing to pay. Listen, that sounds good, but now if you pay it out of pocket, you're not even inching at your deductible, and you're gonna have to have surgery, so, I told my mom this, and she said, you better hope your fingers are broken, or else I'm not helping you pay for anything. So I was under a weird circumstance where I hope my fingers are broken for the sake of my I told you so mom. I finally went to urgent care and got an x-ray. They both confirmed my pointer and middle fingers were broken, and I may need surgery if they didn't heal properly. how to go about our next conversation. Should I just ignore it or bring it up with her? Bring it up with her. Tell her, like, look, when I say something serious, you're gonna have to take my word for it. As long as this kid isn't saying every single thing is serious. Okay? Which this, I'm not saying that, but like, I can understand a parent's, like, you gotta stop acting like everything. This is clearly not that. Not the a-hole. You know how your birth giver is. Don't go to her for medical advice or tell her anything, because otherwise you'll allow her to dictate your health. Ask yourself why you think you would betray your mom while getting required medical help. You even called her to get an okay for an x-rays you wanted to pay for yourself. Is your insurance even that bad, or is it another tool for her to control your health? No, it's probably that bad, but that's besides the point. So yeah, this person is not the a-hole. The mom is the a-hole. And it is unfortunate that we live in a place where it's so expensive to get medical help. But that is your duty as a mother. Take control of your own health care and prescriptions. If you are in the U.S., your tuition likely covers health care. What? It does what? What are these? Mine didn't. What are these people talking about? Is there something I didn't know? I would not discuss your health with your mom. Gray Rocker with several very brief responses. I'd really work on your friend group, who are far more likely to be there for you as your roommate was. Okay, fun fact, pharmacies, they pretty much take any insurance. I know, crazy, right? Because they give out pills, not doctors. Hot tip though, you can call the pharmacy you want your prescription to be at and have them transfer it. Usually they will need old pharmacy's address. So like, get your medications at your local pharmacy. Don't have your mom picking them up, I guess is what they're saying. Duh. You shouldn't have to seek approval for necessary medical care when you are in clear distress. It's sad that you've been conditioned to prioritize your own health, thinking it's some kind of betrayal. The insurance thing is definitely worth questioning. Sometimes parents use financial fears as a way to control decisions, when the actual cost isn't as bad as they make it seem. Hopefully OP learns and trusts their own judgment in the future. Not helpful, but my first thought is to send a picture of your middle finger the next time she asks for an update on your fingers. Being part of an adult is knowing when to pick your battles. If you depend on your mother to help you with costs of school and living expenses, do not rock the boat. Maximize the benefits you can get today, so that tomorrow, when you are fully independent, you have the right to send a photo like that. Delayed gratification, buddy. Do not bite the hand that